Is Andoni Iraola's Liverpool project falling apart before it's even begun? From the shock departure of his closest ally to Saudi Arabia, to the San Siro raid for a Scouse hero, and a £40 million defensive gift waiting in the wings, plus the sensational return of the Chaos King himself, we're breaking down the massive transfer shake-up at Anfield that has the fans divided.
Inter Milan's stance emerges as Curtis Jones's future takes fresh twist. Could Curtis Jones be preparing to leave his boyhood club? Fresh reports suggest Inter Milan remain firmly interested in the Liverpool midfielder, but the final decision may now rest with new head coach Andoni Iraola. Jones has been one of Liverpool's most recognisable academy success stories, but his future at Anfield has become increasingly uncertain as he enters the final year of his contract. Inter Milan have been tracking the England international for months, and their interest shows no signs of fading. In fact, Inter sporting director Piero Ausiello recently confirmed that the Serie A giants are actively monitoring the midfielder's situation and are waiting to see how events develop. Reports in both England and Italy claim discussions between the clubs have taken place in recent weeks, with Inter viewing Jones as a valuable addition to their midfield. However, a significant gap remains between Liverpool's valuation and what the Italian side are currently willing to pay. Liverpool are believed to value Jones at around £35 million, while reports suggest Inter's offers have so far fallen below that figure. The contractual situation adds another layer of intrigue, with Jones now entering the final 12 months of his current deal. The timing of this saga is particularly interesting because Liverpool have just begun a new chapter under Andoni Iraola. Following Arne Slot's departure, several players are expected to have fresh opportunities to impress the new manager. For Jones, that could be crucial. Despite questions surrounding his future, he still featured heavily last season, making dozens of appearances across all competitions and remaining an important squad member even during a difficult campaign. There have also been suggestions that Jones is open to exploring a new challenge if he cannot secure a more prominent role. Inter believes Serie A could be the perfect environment for the technically gifted midfielder to take the next step in his career. Interestingly, reports citing Fabrizio Romano have indicated that negotiations between Liverpool and Inter have been ongoing, with the Italian club continuing to explore the conditions of a potential deal. For now, Liverpool are not rushing into a decision. Iraola is expected to assess his squad during pre-season before making final judgments on several players, and Jones could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of that review process. The coming weeks may determine whether Jones remains a key part of Liverpool's future or decides that the time has come to begin a new chapter elsewhere. What would you do if you were Liverpool? Offer Curtis Jones a new contract and build around him under Iraola, or cash in this summer before he enters the final year of his deal? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this update, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool news.
Hands off! Liverpool send defiant message to Bayern Munich over wonder kid Rio Ngumoha. Is Liverpool about to lose their brightest young jewel to the Bavarian giants, or will Andoni Iraola make the 17-year-old the face of his new revolution? Rio Ngumoha has just sent a thunderous message to his new manager with a man-of-the-match display for England, and it's left the big clubs across Europe licking their chops. The battle for this lad's future is going to be one of the biggest stories of the summer. The context is simple, and Ngumoha is the real deal. He made 31 appearances under Slot last season, despite his tender age, and has already declared that Liverpool is the biggest club in the world. But when Bayern Munich come calling, heads can turn. The Bundesliga powerhouse has reportedly pinpointed him as their top target to provide cover for Luis Diaz. It's a worrying development for a club that prides itself on its pathway from the academy to the first team. The conflict here is between immediate first-team football and the lure of a European giant. Bayern see a gap on their left flank and want Ngumoha to fill it. For Liverpool, the priority must be to convince the youngster that his path to stardom lies at L4. Iraola has to show him that he's a vital component of the future, not just a squad player. The drama intensified after Jude Bellingham publicly praised the lad's debut, calling his future really bright. The facts are clear, and Ngumoha is contracted until 2028, so Liverpool are in a strong position legally. He recently won Player of the Match for England against New Zealand, playing out of position on the right wing and looking absolutely electric. Bayern are yet to lodge a formal bid, but the interest is top tier and very real. Honestly, we cannot afford to let this lad go. He's a proper player in the making. Seeing Jude Bellingham hand him his first cap and sing his praises tells you everything you need to know about his ceiling. If we want to compete at the top, we have to keep our best youngsters. Letting him go to Bayern would be a massive statement of weakness. IRAOOLA needs to get him in the squad, get him minutes, and show him that Anfield is the only place to be. Is Rio the next big thing, or is the hype too much too soon? The new VVD. Liverpool close in on £40 million gift for IRAOOLA to fix defensive crisis. Is Andoni IRAOOLA about to get the defensive beast he needs to shore up a leaky Liverpool backline? With Ibrahima Konate officially heading to Real Madrid on a free transfer, the Reds have been left with a massive hole at the heart of the defence. The solution, it seems, is a £40 million welcome gift that has the recruitment team buzzing with excitement. We're talking about a player who has been under the radar for some time but is now ready to take the Premier League by storm. The context is clear. Liverpool's defence is in a state of flux. Beyond the Konate departure, stalwarts like Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez are out of contract in 2027, and there's no guarantee they'll be part of the long-term plan. While the club has brought in youngsters like Giovanni Leone, they desperately need someone with a bit more edge who can step in and lead from day one. That's where Joel Ordonez enters the frame. The conflict here is whether a 22-year-old from Club Brugge can really handle the intensity of IRAOOLA's high-pressing system. He's a front-foot defender, aggressive in the duels, but measured when he needs to be. There's a belief internally that he possesses the exact physical attributes, speed, power and height to thrive in the English top flight. But with Inter Milan, Chelsea and Manchester United also sniffing around, Liverpool have to move fast to avoid a bidding war that could drive that £40 million price tag even higher. The facts are impressive. Ordonez is 1.88 metres tall, a regular for Ecuador, and boasts a Champions League passing accuracy of nearly 93%. He's played over 40 games this season and is seen as a powerful physical presence rather than just a finesse player. Club Brugge are in a strong position with his contract running until 2029, so they won't be bullied on the fee, which is expected to land around £34 million to £40 million. My take, this is proper piece of business. Ordonez is exactly the profile we should be targeting. Young, hungry and technically elite. He fits the IRAOOLA mould perfectly. Replacing Konate's physicality is no easy task, but this Ecuadorian looks like he's built for the fight. It's a lot of money for a young lad, but in this market it might be the bargain of the summer if he settles quickly. Do you think he's the right man to partner Van Dijk, or should we be looking for someone with more Premier League experience?
The chaos returns. Darwin Núñez set for a shock Liverpool comeback to save IRAOOLA? Could the most chaotic man in football be set for a sensational return to the hallowed turf of Anfield? Just when you thought the Darwin Núñez chapter was closed, a new report suggests the Uruguayan is desperate to come back and finish what he started. With Andoni IRAOOLA needing a specific type of striker to implement his frenzied style of play, this complicated return might actually be the smartest move the club makes this summer. The backstory is well known to every Red. Núñez arrived for a record £85 million but struggled for consistency before eventually heading to Al Hilal. However, the landscape at Liverpool has changed. Mohamed Salah has left for free, and while Alexander Isak is a world-class talent, his injury record is a massive concern for a manager who demands 100% intensity off the ball. With Hugo Ekitike sidelined with a long-term Achilles rupture, the squad is suddenly looking very thin up top. The conflict lies in Núñez's reputation versus his output. Many fans were glad to see the back of the rubbish finishing, but you can't deny his work rate. In IRAOOLA's system, the striker has to be the first line of defence, and Núñez is arguably at his best in that chaotic, high-pressure environment. The drama is whether Al Hilal will actually terminate his contract to let him leave for free, making him a zero-risk backup option for Isak. Let's look at the numbers. Nunez bagged 40 goals and 22 assists in 143 games for Liverpool. Not world-beating, but certainly not a disaster. At 26, he's in his prime. If he comes back on free, he provides the physical presence and chaos factor that defenders hate. Mundo Deportivo reports he is keen on the move, but it all hinges on that contract termination in Saudi Arabia. My honest take is that bringing Darwin back on free is a complete no-brainer. He knows the club, he loves the fans, and his attitude to defending is exactly what IRAOOLA requires. As a rotation option for Isak, he's perfect. He doesn't have to be the main man anymore, he just has to be the weapon we unleash when the game gets frantic. It's a low-risk move with a massive potential reward. Would you take Darwin back for free, or is he a part of the past we should leave behind?
IRAOOLA devastated. Key ally quits Liverpool for Saudi riches in massive internal blow. How can you build a dynasty when the man who brought you to the dance is already looking for a new partner? That's the nightmare scenario facing Andoni Iraola as he settles into the hot seat at Anfield. Just as the Basque manager is getting his feet under the table, news has broken that Richard Hughes, the man largely responsible for his arrival, is in advanced talks to leave the club. It's a staggering turn of events that threatens to destabilize the entire summer recruitment drive before it's even truly kicked off. The backstory here is what makes this so gutting. Hughes only joined the Reds in 2024 after a brilliant decade at Bournemouth, where he and Iraola formed a formidable partnership. They transformed the Cherries into a European-chasing unit, and the hope was that they would replicate that Moneyball magic on a grander scale at Liverpool. Hughes was the architect behind last summer's £446 million spending spree, bringing in the likes of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. To see him potentially walking away now feels like a betrayal of the project they just started. The drama comes from the lure of the Saudi Pro League. We've seen players go, but when the boardroom starts being picked apart, you know the landscape has changed. Hughes is reportedly being seduced by the riches on offer at Al Hilal, where he would reunite with Darwin Nunez. While he's expected to stay through the current window, the shadow of his departure will loom large over every negotiation. Can Andoni Iraola really trust the long-term planning if the sporting director is already checking out? Let us know in the comments.
He's packing his bags. Curtis Jones agrees terms as Inter Milan plot shock Anfield raid. Is it time to say a painful goodbye to one of our own, or is this just the harsh reality of the new era at Anfield? The news coming out of Italy and from the top-tier insiders suggests that Curtis Jones is closer to the exit door than many of us care to admit. We've seen him grow from a promising Scouse lad into a technical powerhouse, but the vibes around his future have shifted dramatically since the managerial merry-go-round began. The context here is crucial, because this isn't just a sudden whim from Inter Milan. Jones is entering the final year of his contract, and the cracks began to show long before the gaffer changed. Remember that stinging rant after the PSV loss in November? He didn't hold back, calling the situation unacceptable and shit. While Arne Slot has since been sacked, the damage to Jones's relationship with the club's hierarchy seems to have lingered. He spent far too much time playing out of position at right back last season, and for a lad who considers himself a proper midfield technician, that clearly didn't sit right. Now we're seeing a classic transfer tug-of-war. Inter Milan are sniffing around, sensing a bargain, but the conflict lies in the valuation. The Italians are reportedly starting the bidding at around €20 million, which is absolute rubbish for a player of his quality. Liverpool are holding out for over €30 million plus add-ons and a sell-on clause. It's a game of high-stakes poker where Jones has already started asking Federico Chiesa about the weather and the lifestyle in Italy. If he's already doing his homework on the San Siro, his head is already halfway across the continent.
The facts are staring us in the face. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the deal is on, and Inter sporting director Piero Ausilio hasn't even tried to hide their interest, stating they are paying attention to the situation. Jones has made 228 appearances for the Reds and bagged 22 goals, but he's never quite been the first name on the team sheet under Klopp or Slot due to injuries and tactical preferences. At 26, he's at a crossroads where he needs to be the main man, not a utility player. Giving my honest take, it feels like a massive risk to let a homegrown talent leave for what is essentially beads and mirrors in modern football terms. €30 million for a technically gifted, versatile midfielder is a steal for Inter. However, if IRAOOLA doesn't see him as a cornerstone of his new-look midfield, it's better to cash in now than lose him for nothing next year. We need players who are 100% committed to the pitch at Anfield, and if Curtis is dreaming of better weather in Italy, it might be the right time to shake hands and move on. What do you lot think? Is €30 million enough, or are we being robbed?